Hey there, it is Zuli Rain back with another video about how to grow your blogging empire and actually make a living by writing about what you love, which is what I am all about. Today's video is about newsletters, okay? We're gonna get into why you need one if you don't have one already, which platform is best. I'm gonna talk about the three that I've got experience with, which is MailChimp, ConvertKit, and Substack, and how to start one, like how to do one, how to do a newsletter to make money and build relationships. So let's start with the most important thing in my opinion, which is why do you need one? So you're watching this right now and you're like, Zuli, come on. I get 10,000 views a minute. I don't need a newsletter to reach my legions of loyal fans and audiences. And I would say to you, a person with 10,000 views a minute, you do need a newsletter. And I'm gonna give you several reasons why. I'm actually gonna give you 4 reasons why you need a newsletter to reach your fans, okay? Number 1, algorithms are ephemeral. And what I mean by ephemeral is that they are subject to change. They change quickly, they change without warning. Talk to any blogger who was around in like 2016 when Google changed SEO, and you will see this fanatical anger get into their eyes, and they're like, oh, the SEO, my views halved overnight. If you, blogger, have a newsletter, you would not be worried about SEO because you would always know that you have a way to reach your followers, your readers, your fans, your audience, without relying on a newsletter, or sorry, without relying on an algorithm. Reason number 2, your fans want more from you, okay? And giving them a place to sign up and hear from you on the regular basis is a great way to start differentiating them from people who only want to hear from you casually, okay? So over time, you're gonna find that there's a certain subsection of your readership who just likes what you do a lot, and they wanna hear more from you than just however often you publish on your blog. Number 3, it's just kind of a nice way to chat, okay? So being an, I don't use this word lightly, being an influencer, it sometimes feels like I'm standing on a podium that I built myself and I'm just hollering at people as they pass by, which is not a great feeling. Having a newsletter is more like I'm sitting down and I'm talking to somebody who cares about what I have to say. And that newsletter gives you just a nicer way to reach out, build a dialogue, communicate with your fans and with your audience. And number 4, controlled. So this is kind of tangential to the algorithm thing, but all these platforms that you write on, whether it's a WordPress on Google, whether it's Medium, whether it's like YouTube, they all have rules about what is and isn't allowed. So like, for example, a blogger I followed, she used to swear in her blog posts on, I think it was like a WordPress blog, and she couldn't get monetized by Google Ads because it was full of swear words, and that's Google's prerogative to do that. They're allowed. But if you have a newsletter, you control the avenue of communication. You control what goes in there. The only thing you have to worry about is point number 3, which is your relationship with your readers. That's the only rule that you have to follow is this communication going to build a better relationship with the people who want to hear what I have to say? If yes, go ahead. If not, no. But that's it. That's the only thing that matters to you when you're writing your newsletter. Okay, hopefully I have evangelized you and you are 100% on the same page. If you're like, yes, I need a newsletter. I want to start right away. Well, worry not, because we're about to get into 3 possible options for you. So I've used 3, which is why I'm describing these 3 now, and I'm going to list them in order from least favorite to most favorite. Number 1, MailChimp. I gained 4 subscribers and I didn't send out a single newsletter, or maybe I sent out just 1. Why? I found it hard to use. It was complicated. What's a template? What's a campaign? I don't know. I didn't want to know. I couldn't figure it out. A newsletter should be the easiest thing in the world. It should just be a way for you to talk to the people who want to hear from you. That's it. And MailChimp for me did not tick that box. I think it was maybe set up for like brands or advertisers, and that's what that's about. It wasn't built for someone like me who just wanted to reach out to my subscribers and just tell them what was going on in my life. Number 2, Substack. So Substack is like, it's the bare bones. It does exactly what I've just described and not a whole lot more. And that's okay. If all you want to do is just send out a weekly newsletter to your subscribers and say, hey, this is what I've got. These are my links. This is my tip for you. Here's what you want. Then Substack is literally the best option for you. It is great because for a couple of different differentiating reasons. A, as I've mentioned, it's simple. Anybody can do it. It's free to use. B, if you want to start monetizing your newsletter, that's all. It's set up to do that. So it's super easy and intuitive to set that up. You can just say, okay, I want to offer this to only people who pay, and then give people an option to pay. That's it. And 3, it holds all of your blog posts, or sorry, not, it holds all of your newsletters that you send in an archive. So people who subscribe to you, or even people who don't, can have a look at what you've written, what you've sent in the past. And you can also like have comments on those. So in the comment sections of some newsletters on Substack I've seen, there's a nice community going where people are chatting to each other, hanging out. That's just kind of nice. So it depends what you're looking for. Number 3, ConvertKit. So ConvertKit's my fave. I am ConvertKit's ride or die. I love ConvertKit. I cannot stress that enough. I do have to say I'm not sponsored by them, although if you're watching this, you know how to find me. But seriously, they are awesome, and they're awesome for a lot of different reasons. I'm going to enumerate them now. Ready? A, it can be simple. If all you want to do is just email people once a week with some links or a text or just a nice note, you can do that. It's so easy to do. You just go to broadcast and you just hit send, and there, you've emailed your whole list with a few clicks of a button. But it can handle complexities, and this is where Substack doesn't hold up in my opinion. If you want to, for example, like let's say that I have a baking business, and if people sign up to me from Instagram, I want to send them like my 9 most popular Instagram recipes when they sign up, versus if they sign up to me from YouTube, I want to send them like my 3 most viewed YouTube recipes when they sign up. ConvertKit can handle that. It can do a lot of if-then kind of things. It can handle anything that you want to throw at it with reaching your readers with more nuanced, subtle messages, which is so cool. You can also like set up very conditional emails. Like let's say, for example, I send out an email and I'm like, hey, check out this awesome YouTube video I just made on newsletters, and a bunch of people click on it. I can then say, okay, everyone who clicked on that link, I want to send them a follow-up email being like, hey, this is the link to sign up to ConvertKit. Here's the link to sign up to Substack if you wanted to know more. It's awesome. The statistics is reason number 3. So if you know me, you know I love numbers. I love looking at dashboards. I love analyzing, and ConvertKit shows me everything, okay? How do people come to find me? How do they subscribe? ConvertKit can tell me. How many people opened the email? I know. How many people opened a link? I can see that. Who hasn't opened an email in 3 months? ConvertKit shows you everything that you could possibly want to know about your subscribers. It's seriously awesome, and it helps you create a super tailored video, a super tailored email that goes to what you know that they're going to be interested in. And that's awesome. And finally, the weekly webinars. ConvertKit every week, I think they host a free webinar for anyone who wants to show up, people who already bought ConvertKit, people who haven't. And genuinely, they want to help you make money with your list, and they want to teach you how to use the software. I've been to some that seriously, they've changed the way I did newsletters. They were the ones who taught me how to sell with my newsletter. They were the ones who said, like, here are a lot of templates to get you set up. They want to help you succeed, and they have the educational resources to do that. Substack and MailChimp don't. So those are my reasons that I love ConvertKit, but again, it's up to you. You'll have to try a bunch. I would really recommend like setting up a newsletter on a bunch of different platforms and see which one feels the slickest, the smoothest, the most like what you're going to want, because you will be spending a lot of time with this list if all goes well. So that's my review of the 3 newsletters tools I've used. Let's get into how to do it. So at this point, you should know why. You should know why it's important that you, a blogger, whether you have 1 or 1 million views, you need a newsletter. You should have an idea of the different options available to you. And if I were you, like I said, I would like set up a little test newsletter for all the different ones, see how easy it is to do what you want, see which one feels the best. And now you're like, well, great. How do I send that? How do I get started? That's what this section is going to answer. So first of all, as I said, pick out your platform. Like I said, I love ConvertKit, but it's not an issue if you prefer Substack or even MailChimp. It's up to you. It's also worth noting that you can change your mind. So I started with MailChimp and then converted all 4 of my subscribers over to ConvertKit when the time came. You can change if you want. Next, decide on your niche. So your niche is going to be what gets people to read your emails. Why are they signing up? What are you going to give them that's above and beyond what you're giving them in your blog posts? So for example, my niche is blogging and writing advice and content creation, right? So I just, that's what I've decided is the value that my newsletter provides. After that, you're gonna choose consistency. So how often are you gonna send this? I think that you should always go more conservative and then get more frequent if you can handle that, because it's harder than you think to send out an email. You really want to think about the wording, you want to think about how you're coming across, who you're reaching, and all of that takes some time. I spend about 30 minutes every week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but 2 hours a month is a lot of time. So figure out how often you want to do it, and then if things go well, you can always scale up, and if not, you won't disappoint anybody, least of all yourself. And then you're going to get into the CTA, or call to action. So a call to action is basically your hook. How do I do this analogy? No, I don't want to go with the hook analogy, because that implies that your newsletter is a fishing boat, and I don't think that's true at all. Nobody's newsletter is a fishing boat here. But your call to action is the answer to the question, why should I sign up to this? So first of all, there's your niche. There's the value that you've outlined. But if you want to go a step above and beyond, you can also give people an immediate bonus. So for example, for me, I say, look, sign up and I will send you this PDF that I created that has your 5-day medium starter kit. And not only that, I will send you an email course totally for free, one email per day that goes along with your PDF and just guides you through it all. And people, from what I gather, people really enjoy that. People get a lot of value from that. It's up to you if you want to create this additional incentive. If not, if you want to include it, it's up to you. With all of these factors in mind, the value you provide, the consistency, the platform, your call to action, you're going to create the wording. So mine is, I've optimized a couple of different ones, but my current one is join 4,300 others and sign up to my mailing list to get your free 5-day medium starter kit and twice weekly blogging tips. That's it. I've encapsulated the entirety of my newsletter in one sentence, given people a reason to sign up and get those twice weekly blogging tips and the 5-day starter kit. And then just send it. That's all that's left. That's honestly the hardest part. The easiest part is the writing. A lot of people overthink it. Don't. You're writing to people who want to hear from you, and that's all you have to remember. You're writing to a friend, someone who enjoys what you have to say. So when I do this, I've been at this long enough that I have individual subscribers whose names I know and whose lives I know a little bit about, because we email fairly frequently. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm writing this for David. I wonder how he's doing. I'll tell him how I'm doing. I want to tell him a little bit about what's going on in my life right now. And then here's the thing that he's going to care about. It can be that simple. So that's the final step. That's how you save. That's how you send your newsletter to your fans, friends, family, foes, anyone. And this is gonna save your blog. It's gonna get you views when the algorithm hates you. It's going to help you earn a living by selling to people who want who want to buy what you're selling. It's going to help you build relationships with those people who care about what you have to say, and probably you care about what they have to say too. And finally, you're going to be able to have a dialogue that you own and you control with your readers, and that is worth so much value. So it doesn't matter how many views you have. It doesn't matter how few, where you're blogging, you need a newsletter no matter what. So hopefully this convinced you and has given you all the tools you need to do exactly that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what email newsletter stuff you use in the comments. If you love MailChimp and you hate me now for this video, let me know. I love hearing about that kind of stuff. And if you have any other questions, just feel free to pop it in the comment box. I will leave you all to enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.